All right, gang, it is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro, back again with a report for BTC because we finally have some action that is worth talking about. Lots of things going on, and I think we are on the brink of a breakout. I really do. The indicators are telling us that a breakout is imminent, and let's go to the charts and show you why. All right, well, blip me off the screen. We don't need to look at my ugly face, but let's look at the pretty blue line and see what we can see. All right, let's draw on this chart and tell you what I have noticed. Okay, so overall, we see this big flag, kind of a formation here. It looks somewhat like this. However, within the micro, since August the 12th, we noticed that we've got a correction that always comes right back down to somewhere around 10,100, somewhere around there. So what's going on here? Why are we forming this flat line here? And looking at the micro, instead of looking at a great big triangle that is symmetrical, we are looking at a descending triangle that has a flat bottom. Now, let me tell you the three types of triangles that we analyze, and from what I've seen in the past, these are indications of breakouts. The first type of triangle we have is the ascending triangle, where price action looks like this, and then the breakout happens right there. The second kind of triangle that we have is the symmetrical triangle. It looks like this. The breakout can happen to the upside or to the downside. It depends on what the overall trend is. If we are in an overall bullish trend, they usually break out this way. But if we're in an overall bearish trend, they break to the downside. What's the third kind? Well, it's a descending triangle. It looks like this with a flat bottom, or sometimes it could look like this, where the bottom part of the triangle is on a downslope. These almost always break to the downside. All right, so let's get back to the chart and look at this little triangle here, folks. It looks like a descending flag formation. So my prediction is, my thought is that we're going to break to the downside. But let's look at the details on, whoops, let's clear this. Here we go. Let's look at the details on the full feature chart so I can tell you why I believe we're going to break to the downside and look at some of the other evidence from the technical indicators. Let's start out with the one-day chart so we can get the big picture. Notice that I had this parallel trading channel. It's still up here because we're still within that channel. However, we have a new formation with this flag here with what I believe to be a descending flag formation. All right, but we're going to leave the parallel trading channel here because I think that will let us know what happens if we break to the upside. If we get outside of this parallel trading channel, it will be very, very telling. So we had some fib circle lines that have told us a lot in the past. Our big red fib circle lines that I have indicated here. And if you want to see the beginning and end points of these fib circle sets that I have constructed, please check my Trading View account or look in the comments and I'll post those endpoints. We also have the big blue fib circles, and we are coming upon the 1.618. This is a critical line. Now, you know that in the past we have already had magic occur with these fib circles that I have constructed, and that is why I have kept them, because we see the magic happens here. When we had our first breakout, we came up to the 1.618 and then we hopped up to the 1. We did a little bouncing back and forth. They act like gravitational rings. They pull the price, and then when you get to that edge, sometimes you'll have a breakout, sometimes they'll shoot straight through, but then we can see that they try to find those lines. So all of this action is happening along the fib circle boundaries, and I've got some smaller sets in here where we're zooming in to the micro while we were in between these larger actions. But now we are here at the apex of the triangle, headed towards the 1.618 big blue Fibonacci line. And that's where I believe we're either gonna blast up or we're gonna fall to the ground. All right, let's zoom in and check out the micro. Let's go to the 4-hour. This is a lot more clear. Now we see the upper boundary of the pennant formation and the lower boundary where price action is really respecting these lines. How about that? We start with all this action up here along the line, bouncing around, coming down, and settling down right to the base of the triangle that has been forming here. 1, 2, 3 times that is confirmed. There's the 4th time right there. Now we're up here at the upper end, and what are we doing? We're correcting again. So what normally happens is you're going to blow out of this thing before you hit the apex of the triangle. So don't expect the breakout to occur here. What normally happens, you get a breakout before you even get to that end. That's why I think we are merely days away from a major movement. There will be a pivot point. Here are the scenarios, and before I draw them, I need to make a little bit of a demonstration so you can understand how I decide or predict which way a price will break out when we are crossing fib circle boundaries. Here's how it goes. Let's say if we've got a great big fib circle like this. Now let's draw some lines in here so we can make quadrants. Whoops, that's a circle, but I can make it into a line. Let's choose a line here. We just need to divide this pie up into 4 bits. Now, let's take it to the numbers. Here we go. We're going to chop this up into 4 quadrants. We're going to call this quadrant 1. We're going to call this 2, this one 3, this one 4, going clockwise. Here's what happens, folks. Whenever we are trading the candles within quadrant 1 and we hit a fib circle boundary, like let's say here's the price line and it's doing something like this. If we're close to getting to this line, when we get to the line and we're in quadrant 1, the breakout is usually orthogonal. I forgot what that was. I've had 19 hours of college math and I forgot that word. Well, anyway, it breaks out to the upside. If you are trading in quadrant 2, what normally happens when you hit the line will break out to the downside. Okay, so let's check out what we have on our chart and draw some lines here so you can see what I'm talking about. So price action is going to continue to do this. If we make it all the way to the apex of this triangle, which I don't think we will, we're probably going to break to the upside. So let's draw on a big nice breakout here because we're in quadrant 1 of that circle. Now, we may test this line and it could fail after that point. However, if we get through this parallel trading channel and move up, look out. It might be time to blast off to the moon. And we might jump here and try to beat our previous, no, that's 2 high points ago. We've got a ways to go up here before we hit that 13,800. Okay, however, if price action is bouncing around and then we get the breakout before the apex of the triangle, if it violates this line, we're going to start doing this. And then we're going to find this fib circle boundary. And when we get to that boundary, this is what's going to happen, folks. We're going to go down from there. All right, let's clear this and turn off drawing. And let's zoom out a little bit so we can see where we are going. Where could we go? Let's have a look. Let's draw on the chart again. So again, if we, let's get a smaller line here. If we fart around and bounce around in this channel and break out before, we'll find our line down here, and then that's where we could sail. And ugly things could happen, but even though it may seem ugly to people, it would be a healthy correction for Bitcoin to experience this, because the lower we go here, the higher the next bull run is going to be, and it's going to be an extended bull run if we complete out the full length of the bear cycle. Right now we have not completed the full length of the bear cycle because this would be the shortest one ever if we break out before we get to this final correction. So it would be the first time in history if we break out, which it could happen. If we break out here and we move up, that'll be the first time in the history of Bitcoin that we do not complete the 4 steps of the market cycle before the next bull market starts. All right. So, is there anything else that we can see? Volume-wise, let's look at the volume. We're still on the 4 hour. We could run into the 1 hour. Let's stay on the 4 hour for a minute here and just look at the overall volume. See if it gives us any clues. All right. Now we can see the big push that got us to our high point of the 13,000 whatever hundred, depending on if you're looking at the 1 day or the 4 hour, it's somewhere above 13,000. But here's the volume. Look at that volume that got us there. And then on the dump, look at the volume that created this first big dump slide. Now, what's tricky is how did we have this whole move up here with this little bitty volume? Look at that. Where's the volume for that? It tells me something's not really real. You know, it only ran up to here, and then we came down. So overall, it looks like volume is on the decline. And that's not a good sign. Okay, so I believe that if the whales come in, we could have a tremendous spike in volume at this point. We could see some volume, you know, doing something like this, and if it does, then this is going to blast off. It's going to happen. If that's the case, it would take a lot of buying pressure to do that. However, we could equally well have this kind of, well, let's draw that backwards. It could be a candle like this big. And of course, that would cause us to float down, down, down. Now, if we make it to that 1.618 and move down, we could be looking to get to the 2.618. So if worst goes to worst, then once we break out of this line, if it's in quadrant 2, we're going to be looking down here somewhere in this area of finding the 2.618 fib circle line, because it has been magical in the past. Look at the action right here on the 2.618, and then all this other stuff happened and we got magnetically attracted to the 1.618. We could see the same thing happen when we're out here, folks. We could do something like this and all of a sudden get snatched down to that 2.618 line. So we want to be careful. Right now it's really 50-50. I'm going to tell you that there's just as equal of a chance of this happening as this happening. So for those of you who like to trade in the market, you better not be trading with money that you cannot afford to lose, because you will get wrecked, my friend, and you don't want to get wrecked. I'm not going to get wrecked because I'm not gambling on this. I'm a long-term holder, and I focus more on XRP, but I've got a little smidgen in Bitcoin. It's a little bit scary for me to trade in this market right now, but I'm going to wait and see what direction we are going before I take those kind of chances. Now, as usual, this is not financial advice. Do not make decisions based on my magical fib circle lines, even though they are magical and have been proven throughout history. This is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment only. So if you are entertained, I want you to smash the like button. As Crypto says, please smash out the like button and give me a thumbs up. And like and subscribe. Don't watch my videos for free. I want you to like and subscribe, and also come check me out on TradingView. If there is an altcoin that you would like me to analyze with the magic of the fib circle boundaries, please type it in the comments and let me know, and I'd be glad to throw a video up to give some insight on your favorite altcoin. So that's all for now. We're going to watch for the next few days and come back with another video, and we might go live if we're lucky enough to be sitting at the helm of the desk of the Crypto Pro, with the Crypto Pro supercomputer crunching the data and uploading to the cloud at an incredible speed because of this highly sophisticated machine that I've just built, so I can bring live broadcasts to you. All right, that is all I've got. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what your favorites are, and you might get a video. This is Carlton Flowers, your Crypto Pro, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a good night.